Mm-hmm. Hey, you're live. You can start introducing yourself.
Okay, guys, I gotta forgive me if you didn't beat my face like she Hi, guys. This is Steve. Sorry for the delay. I'm going to be speaking to you guys about being PR ready, and here we go. I need.
Can everyone hear us and see us clearly? Please confirm. Thank you.
And I'll be able to see the slide presentation.
Yes, you will in a moment.
Okay. Oh, this is not bad. All right.
Alrighty, so you can start, and remember, every time I raise my hand, all right, you're just gonna have to go like this, okay?
Hi guys, welcome to another NYBeauty Suites presentation. This presentation is being PR ready. My name is Keith Forrest. Many of you guys know me as government affairs individual, that strange guy that walks around this building with a mean mug often. But I'm here today to talk to you about my passion and what I do, which is PR. A little bit about me. I'm a graduate of Clark Atlanta University, which is a CAU, which is a HBCU. I'm sorry, a historical Black college and university located in Atlanta, Georgia. I moved here to work for MTV back during the hip hop boom. While I was working at MTV, interning at MTV, I also worked at the Apollo during that particular time. Back in 2014, I formed Urban ID, a creative service agency that fosters corporate and social responsibility, which is CSR, and worked for a lot of nonprofit agencies, doing a lot of PR and cultural events up and around New York and within Brooklyn. I'm a resident of Bed-Stuy. I'm also a single parent. Me and my son, we live in the Bed-Stuy area. I currently serve on the Economic Development Board for Community Board 3. And I am also a member of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce NYBeauty committee. This year, they honored me with being the Small Business of the Year, with a Small Business of the Year award. And that's just a little bit about me. In addition, one more thing I want to get out there is that in 2017, I launched A Greater Good, which is a nonprofit 501c agency that caters to marginalized community. What we do is we teach financial literacies in the school systems and do stuff like that. Well, before I get started, I just want you guys to know a little bit about public relations. Public relations is defined as the process of planned persuasive communication designed to influence significant publics. What that basically means is that what we do in PR is we take we're the middleman between your brand and the media at large. So what we do is we help you craft your message and get it out to the masses. So that's basically what a working definition of public relations is. I'll just read another definition. It's a distinctive management function which helps establish and maintain mutual lines of communication, understanding, acceptance, and cooperation between the organization and its public. Again, a public relations serves as a middleman between your brand and the media at large, or the public at large. It can be it can be either media outlet, place of organization, or something of that nature. But that's what basically the main function of PR is. I'm talking to the screen, so I'm going to just angle, and I can angle it, right? So I can talk to these guys too. Okay. Yeah. so I don't isolate the people that I have within the event. Okay, great. And what are some of the tools? Just like you guys are beautypreneurs, and you have tools. For instance, V, she's a makeup artist, so she uses brushes and stuff of that nature. In my field, I use the media as my tool. And there's different types of tools that we use in the media.
And I'll give you a quick definition of what the media is. Media is basically a channel of communication. So what we mean by channel communication is the outlet or the vessel in which your content comes through. That's what media is. And there's certain types of media, which you guys I'm sure familiar with, but we'll just go through it for the sake of going through it in this lesson plan. But there's print media, of course. There's broadcast media. There's the newest, latest media, which is internet media. And there's outdoor and / out of home media, which is basically, you see the large billboards that are on everywhere. Those are out of home, outdoor, out of home types of media where you can do signage and branding at. Basically, as PR agents, what we basically operate within is the print, broadcast, and the internet. Internet is over the last year has taken up more precedence over the other two, but the real source of really getting your story out and what really counts is within the print and the broadcast areas. So those are the types of tools and the types of channels that we use. And then in addition to that, there's certain types of media that we classify within our realm. One is owned media, one is shared, another is shared, another is purchased, and another is earned. And I'll share some examples of what those are. When we talk about shared media, we're talking about things that you share, whether it's over the internet, whether it's on your own platform, your own website, or whether it's texting. That's what shared media is, something that you share with another person. When we talk about purchase media, we're talking more about advertising. That's the ads that you see in magazines. And now magazines are electric, right? So, you know, that's all. There's also opportunities for you to purchase media within on the internet as well. And then own media. Own media is the media that you own for your own websites, for your own blogs and stuff of that nature. That's things that you create, the content that you create for yourself. And when we talk about media, media and content are interchangeable, but in my field, we tend to lean more towards media. But as over time, you're beginning to see a lot of people refer to media as content. They're very interchangeable, but content is now more of an acceptable term to use. Now, earned media is the area in which publicists operate in, because that is media that is earned. That's media that a reporter does something about you, or that you, it's like a badge of honor, something that you get because of something that you've done or accomplishments that you've made. For instance, Serena Williams, she's a champion tennis player, right? So, you know, and she's retiring. So, you know, she's getting a lot of earned media because of the service that she's done in that particular field, who she is and what she represents. That's all earned media. When you see her in USA Today, New York Times, and some of these bigger publications that you read about, that's called earned media. And that's basically the area that we focused on. So how do you go about getting our earned media, and how do you become PR ready is something that we're talking about. And if I'm going too fast, guys, please tell me to slow down, because I feel like I'm really rushing through. So when we talk about being PR ready, we're talking about presenting yourself in a situation where you are making yourself attractive to reporters and people within the media to do stories on you and create earned media. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about being PR ready. And how do you go about being PR ready? I'm glad you asked. Here's some steps that you can go about being PR ready. First thing, you want to have your elevator speech ready. Everybody's familiar with elevator pitch, right? No. An elevator pitch is basically your 30-second pitch to tell people what it is about your business. We call it an elevator pitch because the elevator ride is about 30 seconds to a minute. And it's that speech that you have if you're back in the day, if you're in an elevator and you meet and you're working for MTV and you want to be and you want to have your own program and you meet the producer on the elevator, what would you say to that person? You know, it's that 30 seconds that you give that person to let you know who you are, what is it that you do, and how you can help or add value to what that individual is. So that's what your elevator pitch is. So when you're PR ready, you want to make sure that you have that element ready, that you're ready to speak about who you are and what you are. For instance, I'm sorry, I keep picking on you, V, but I know your work in your ear. So for instance, V does she's a makeup artist, and she also does
Full body waxing.
Full body waxing, exactly. And she specializes in a certain type of body waxing, right? So for instance, if she's on the elevator with Little Kim, and she knows that, you know, Little Kim would be an ideal client for her, what would she say? You know, she'll say, you know, my name is V. My name, I could give her a compliment, of course, and you know, I name my company is Beyond Glam, and I provide full body waxes and makeup artists for individuals. You know, so therefore, Little Kim will know who she is, what it is that she does, where she's located, and she piqued Little Kim's interest as far as, you know, what it is that she can provide for her. You know what I'm saying? So that's your elevator pitch. Of course, you want to design it as best and cater to whoever it is that you're speaking to. But that's what elevator speech is, and you should always have that ready as part of being quote unquote PR ready. For instance, if go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, continue.
For instance, if you're on the elevator with, or you meet a reporter, the same thing. You want to be able to tell that reporter who you are, what it is that you do, and how you can add value to that particular person. So that's what your elevator pitch is. Yes.
I wanna hear as to how times have changed,
Mm-hmm.
and that elevator pitch isn't going anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
but people's attention spans
It's low.
have decreased
Mm-hmm.
so much, yes. And with everyone being so glued to their phone, they're only halfway in a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I own a digital business card.
Mm-hmm.
Dee's getting hers on the way. And I think it's a great opportunity to show all the platforms that you're running your business out of, versus a few decades ago, you can find me on here.
Mm-hmm.
Versus with your digital business card, we're already cutting those 30 seconds down, maybe to like a nice 20,
Okay.
15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Tap your phone, here's my business. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, here's my email, my personal phone number. So I actually have a website. Well, it's not my website, but it's the company I use, their digital business card, Bopple.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll send it in the chat with a promo code too. Everyone saves 20% off. And they're very cheap. They're very pocket friendly. They're like $20. I have one on my computer.
So it's like, it operates like a QR code?
Yes, but you're tapping it.
Oh, you're tapping, wow.
Yeah, and everything pops up.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I think we had, I think the comments had that. We were doing that with
Yeah,
the
so
comments.
it's pretty neat.
Awesome.
And whoever's more of an introvert,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe has social anxiety or anything
Mhm.
like that, it's a great way to start practicing your elevator
Mhm.
pitch, because this can help you. It speaks for itself almost in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a great icebreaker, and they're intrigued.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you're right about that. And a way that you can operate that too is to have I think when we talk about the concept of elevators pitch, and Genesis brought us something very good. Of course, times have changed and we're more technically savvy now, and we're using technology at a rate that we've never used it before, especially coming out of COVID, you know, where touchless and being around each other was null and void. So I think having a technology like that is very, very key. But again, if I'm tapping Tanya of my information, you know, there still has to be some type of communication.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think you can limit your elevator pitch, but there still has to be some type of introduction that you have to do. So knowing how to best promote yourself, best to speak about what it is that who you are and what it is that you do is key. Having that extra visual from via the source that you're talking about is great, because V can go to Little Kim and say, you know, I'm V on Glam and I do makeup and all this other stuff, and then she can tap her, and then Little Kim will be able to see what it is she does and be able to buy into her more. But V still is going to have an opportunity. She still has to have the know about her company and be able to communicate what it is that she does to her. But
engagement.
Exactly, you still have to engage that person and still be able to hold a conversation with them. But I think that's an excellent way of hiding the elevator pitch, because you get that instant visual. It automatically comes up, right?
Yeah, it just takes a few seconds depending on the model of your phone.
Mhm.
You'll hover right over it and everything just pops up.
It just pops up?
Yeah.
On the screen?
Yeah.
As is? That's awesome.
Yeah.
But you gotta
Show
speak
off
while that,
later.
and you have to speak it, you have to speak while it's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, that person's interest. But that's awesome. Okay, going back to being PR ready, another thing that you should know is know the business of your business. For instance, just know the history of what your business is. Know what the current affairs are going on in your business. And one way that you can do that is subscribe to trade publications. At the end of this conference, I'm going to share with you guys some of the trade publications that are within the beauty industry. But just subscribe to some trade publications, know who the key players are, because they'll tell you who the key players are. They'll tell you the latest technology that's going on. They'll tell you all the things that are happening within your business. For instance, I worked in the music industry, and one of our key publications was Billboard. Billboard was our Bible. We had to know who was number one and or who was number 5 with a bullet if you're going up or you're going down. It also filled us up. It also contained a lot of articles on up and coming artists and stuff of that nature. So that was our Bible, and that was one of our publications. You have something to say, Tanya?
Yeah, I just had a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing the trade publications, do you mean your competitors and what they're publishing, or do you mean the outlets that publish what you do?
Trade publications are actually a genre of publications that cater to specific industries. But like I was telling you, Billboard was the music industry's Bible. It's a trade publication that lists the current rankings of all albums and all artists according to what genre that they are. So so if I wasn't doing promotions, then it wouldn't let me know that my artist is a such and such number, but my friend over at Epic Records artist is number 1. What do I have to, what do I have to do in order to get there? What songs they might be coming out with? It gives you a playbook of what's going on in the industry, what your peers are doing, but also how you can just better what else is going on in the industry. For instance, Billboard also announced latest advancements, people that were getting promoted, latest jobs and all that other stuff. So it was our Bible that spoke to our business and our industry. And there are publications like that for the cosmetology industries, for any industry that you think of, there's a publication that caters to the business of that business. And be aware that technology and legal issues and legislations that may affect your industry. For instance, when Joanne launched New York Beauty Suites, she basically launched it because the beautypreneurs were not being considered essential workers. Now that's a legal issue, you know what I'm saying? These are women that are in the industry that are doing essential service, but they're not being classified as essential workers, you know what I'm saying? And she was, and we were able to get the attention of some legislators and some people in the business industry to go and to look into that. So you also want to know what issues and legislation that is going on. And for instance, the whole cannabis thing, you know what I'm saying? It's a big to do, and everybody's going crazy. We're allowed to smoke it, but what is the legislation behind it? Well, what is going on with it? I mean, me, for instance, I'm going down the subway and I'm, choking on smoke. So my whole thing is, when it's being legal, yes, but I'm being affected by it. What are some of the ramifications of it? Where does law step in? You know what I'm saying? So, it's best to know about your industry too, especially cosmetology deals with a lot of chemicals and stuff of that nature. What, is the FDA putting a ban on this chemical or that chemical? It affects your business at the end of the day, right? So you need to know that. Is everybody's into, being clean and not using animal products. Is any of the makeup that you use to have animal ingredients in it? It's knowing things of that nature, it's really it really affects you. So just in those trade publications, they cover stuff like that, so just know the business of your business, subscribe to trade publications, stay abreast on the latest trends and stuff of that nature in order to help you get ahead. And the more you know about your business, the more you become attractive and to media, because media, basically, they want a good story. And the way that media operates is it's a business just like any other business. And they operate on an editorial calendar. So every year around this time, you're going to see fall stories, you're going to see back to school stories, you're going to see every year around November, you're going to see stories. You're going to see stories about Black Friday, about Thanksgiving and stuff of that nature. You're gonna, because they operate on an editorial schedule just like everybody else. Sorry, let me just turn this off. Next is list of trade and beauty publications. Like I said, there are trade and beauty publications in all industries. You guys are gonna get this slide presentation. And if you click that link where it says fda.gov, it'll give you a complete list of resource industry and cosmetics and cosmetology, all the trade publications that cater to that particular industry. Such trade publications are Skin Deep, Dermoscope Magazine, Day Spa, Estetica, Latina, Intelligent Spa, Massage and Body Works, American Salon, Women's World Daily and stuff of that nature. All of those publications cater to the beauty industry. I'm sorry. You look at the presentation. Okay. Gotcha. And has something to say. Basically, if you read the trade publications, they're chock full of nuts. Your day-to-day conversations with people. Just be able to articulate things that's going on in your business and in a profound way, finding new technologies and new techniques and to cater to your business. What are the latest trends? If you're finding a Q-tip might work better for doing eyebrows than a certain thing, have something to say, especially in social media. I think one thing most people now isn't lacking is having something to say. I mean, we're watching social media feeds all day and we're seeing people have plenty to say, but have intellectual things to say within your business. I mean, share with people your latest client tips or technical tips that you may have. Just have something to say and being able to articulate that to others will allow you to be more media savvy for reporters. Yes.
So while we're on the topic, I don't know if it's in your next slide, but can you go over how so here at Beauty Suites, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a part of our press team,
Mm-hmm.
and how we're communicating with the guests.
Yes.
But when it comes to, sorry, I hear my own echo.
Mm-hmm.
It throws me off because I need to make sure the Zoom is going on. So for a smaller business, and sometimes, let's say for a potential investor or someone who's curious or likes your business, start asking very business questions somewhere that you're not used to. How do you advise for the entrepreneur to communicate different aspects of their business, whether it's finances, their target market, especially if it's, you wanna inform someone of something
Okay.
without telling them too much.
That's a good question. So basically you're saying, how do you communicate certain aspects of your business?
Yeah.
Different aspects of your business? Whatever you're more comfortable communicating. I mean, like a lot of people are not comfortable communicating their finances. And if you're not comfortable communicating your finances, then don't communicate your finances, basically, you know what I'm saying? Or speak to someone that has expertise in that can help you. But my whole thing is, you know, don't, if you're uncomfortable talking about it, you know, then avoid talking about it. I know what you're saying though, you know, but when it comes down to the business of your business, you may be uncomfortable talking about it, but just make sure that you're talking to the right people about it. For instance, Nadia, we all know Nadia, right? Nadia is a financial, especially in a community like this, Nadia is knows about finances. She knows about, you know, loans and all that other stuff. So, you know, don't shy away from the topic, but just speak to individuals that have expertise in that area on a one-on-one basis, so that you can feel more comfortable yourself getting the information that you need to address the situation that you're going through.
So it goes back into knowing the room you're in, the game you're playing, and what's the goal of whatever you're doing at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah, I think a lot of people are uncomfortable talking. I'm uncomfortable talking about my business. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm basically a solopreneur, so I handle all aspects of it. But I know that if I'm in a room or something of that nature, and something comes up and I'm aware of it, I'm not going to be bold enough to raise my hand, but I'm going to be smart enough to go to Nadia and speak about what she said and get my questions answered, or get assurance of what it is that I feel I'm neglecting from her. Mm-hmm. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm a little distracted. We have some questions coming in the chat.
Okay.
We have two.
Okay, I can answer.
So one of them are from Natasha.
Mm-hmm.
If you can speak about the work that you do here at NYBeauty Suites, what does a normal campaign look like, and how long does a campaign last?
Okay. The work I do here at NYBeauty Suites, basically I do government affairs and public relations. What I do in public relations, public relations is in campaigns is kind of tricky. For instance, you can work, for instance, working here at Brooklyn Commons as within the realm of PR. I'm always doing PR for them, are always representing the company to the public. However, for instance, we have the Open Desk Small Business Pop-Up that's coming up. So that's actually a campaign. So it varies for different campaigns. For that particular campaign, since we do sponsors and we bring other people in, we tend to start that campaign within 6 months. And that runtime consists of getting all the pieces and parts together. For an event like that we've been doing for over 6 years, we don't really have to start the PR campaign until about 3 months in, because it's something that we know what type of media we're trying to get and we're trying to attract. And we know where when we have to put our tools in place and put everything in place to start running that campaign. It's very different. I think if you're for most of the women here, you guys are in the beauty space. You got to be mindful that some of the publications or some of the outlets that will promote you are magazines. I mean, a majority of you are women of African descent. And Essence I'm sure is one of the main magazines that you look towards being featured in. and some of the others, you have to be mindful that those publications are periodicals, are classified as periodicals. Now, periodicals can be monthly periodicals, which is every 12 months. There can also be weekly periodicals, which tend to run 52 weeks. But that means there's 52 issues of that publication that's coming out. And that means there's only a slim opportunity for you to be featured in that publication based on what it is that you do. For instance, like I spoke earlier, all publications and all media works on an editorial calendar. So as Black History Month comes into focus, those publications are looking at what their Black History Month publication is going to be now. So if you're talking about campaigns and timing campaigns, it varies of what it is that you're promoting and how it is that you want to be promoted. I try and give my clients a 3 to 6 month window, because basically doing PR, you need at least 3 months to get the word out there and get things moving, building the tools that you need in order to move the campaign, and then about 3 to 6 months within getting the information out there and feeding it to the press and getting interest. It usually takes about that long to start moving things. So I say most campaigns, long lead campaigns, are about 3 to 6 months to a year. I know as small business owners, I try not to go that long. I try to give a 3 to 6 month campaign, 3 to 6 month retainer, giving my client enough time for me to generate some press and reaching some of the goals that they have within that time. Yes, Tanya, I'm sorry. Listen.
Don't lose that thought. Joanne would like to be unmuted.
Okay.
Just give us a moment, everyone. Where is she? Continue on.
Sorry.
Yeah, Kate,
Mhm.
so I guess I just want a little bit more detail about what the campaign looks like. Yeah, you're saying you reach out to these publications, but like, how are you writing like blurbs? Do you know, like, how do you know who to speak to, who to find?
Okay.
Things like that.
Okay, I got you. Well, basically, a campaign is just a campaign consists of creating your tools. And what are your tools? Your tools is your press release. If you're doing a particular product or event, I do a lot of events, so I always have my tools are always a press release talking about what the event is. Your bios about the individuals that are part of that campaign, or whether they're the producers, the directors, or whatever role they play. Making sure you have a bio on all the players within it. And those are your main two tools. And how do you go about using those tools? You look at what it is that you're trying to promote, or what it is that they're doing. For instance, if I was doing a campaign on V, and we was talking about V Glam, the tools that I would use would be a bio on V, as well as a bio on V Glam. I would have a consultation with her, and we'll do a wish list of some of the things, some publications that she desires to be in, and we'll do some, and then I'll do some research and look at some of the publications that she may fit in. Of course, her doing makeup, her being an African American woman, her living in Brooklyn, all of those are taken into consideration. When we look at her living in Brooklyn, there's Brooklyn Magazine, which is a local publication. There's also hyper local publications that we'll put on our menu to look out to, like BK Reader, Caribbean Life, and stuff of that nature. There's publications that speak to someone's heritage, ethnicity, like Caribbean Life, like I just mentioned. There's New York Amsterdam, which is a African American weekly publication that we'll put on our list. There's Women Will Wear Daily, which is a trade publication that speaks to beauty and wellness. That will look. They have certain sections that she might be able to might be able to put her in. V's also a single mom, so we'll look at that aspect of her career and look at Parents in Brooklyn and stuff of that nature. And then we'll also look at publicity. You know, we talked about PR, meaning more some of the publications, and PR being the bigger umbrella. Then we talk about publicity too. We look at some of the situations that we might put her in. For instance, May is March is Women's History Month. Look and see if there's opportunities for her to be honored for that. You know, she's a single mom. There might be opportunities for her to be honored at her daughter's school or something of that nature. Those are some of the publicity angles that we can look at. Yes.
So one question we have on the chat is, how do we get these magazines to cover our businesses? And how do we send in press releases?
Well, let me just speak about 2 points and I'll come back to that question. Another aspect is being camera ready. Right now, everything is prepackaged. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day when I first started doing PR, Essence would say, okay, I'm gonna do an article on V. We're gonna bring her into the studio. We're gonna do a whole photo shoot on her, and you know, and then work it out. Now they're like, now when you do pitches, they're like, okay, I want to do an article on her. You got any pictures? You know what I'm saying? So now it's up to you to be camera ready. That means be having some headshots of who she is. You know what I'm saying? And also stationary shots of what she is and that identify her. Shots of her in her studio doing makeup. Shots of her, you know, doing waxing and stuff of that nature. Those industrial type of shots. And then, you know, shots of her and her daughter, you know, if it's up to her, of showing that side of her too. Having a stockpile of all of that ready for if an opportunity comes up to you. And to answer that question, hire publicists. Just like V does makeup and waxing, I don't do that. She specializes that. She went to school for doing that. There's people that are publicists are trained to be that middleman to represent you to the media. That's what they're trained to do. You know, they're trained to write that press release and utilize those keywords to make it more attractive and pitch you to the press. And that's another thing too, Tanya. Pitching is a major part of it. Reaching out to the media outlet. Everybody comes across a reporter and stuff of that nature and think that they can go down that rabbit hole. But there's certain ways that the media wants to be approached, or certain ways that they want to be contacted. And that's what a publicist's job is, to contact them and be that middle person representing you. Yes.
So how would you find the right publicist for you that understands the stage you are in your business and sees the potential that you have, that you believe for yourself?
That's a good question. There's a publicist that caters to everybody, but don't get caught up in the hokey doke. Always do research and find out who they are. There's many people that tell you I can put you here, there, and everywhere. Do your research on their research on them as well. Go to their LinkedIn page and see if they placed anything that caters to that's similar to what it is that you do. You know what I'm saying? Have a conversation with them. Do they know reporters and do they have contact? Because a publicist is only good as their contact. You know, just like most of you that are in the beautypreneur space are client driven. So you know your client, you know what kind of skin that they have and so forth and so on. A publicist, you hire a publicist to know the people to bring to the table to help promote who you are.
How much does an agent cost, a publicist cost?
A publicist, it varies.
Does the rates go by on their successful campaigns, the client book? What drives that rate?
The rate is usually driven by their success rate. For instance, Susan Blonde, she's one of the most renowned publicists in the music industry, but Susan Blonde used to represent Madonna. So therefore, she can ask whatever she wants to, exactly, because she has a successful client. People know the work of her work, the work that she did behind that client, and you know, she can ask for a rate that's compatible to what it is that she does. But there's other people that are just starting out in the industry that might be more compatible. For me, for instance, one of the things I stay up at night was when I take on a small business client. I learned at a very early age that, you know, every dollar that a small business person give you was given to you in sweat and tears. I can never forget. That's what my boss told me. For instance, as Tanya hires me, I know that that dollar Tanya gave me is, she sacrificed her daughter, she sacrificed somebody else to hire me to do what it is that I said I can do. So I take that very seriously. So it's like, you know, I stay up at night. One of the things, you know, especially when I do a small business, it's like, you know, because I got to make sure that I dot my I's and cross their T's to it. And you know, you'll find people that are willing to work with you like that too. But don't be afraid to demand things of them. You know, go check out their website and their LinkedIn pages and do the research and make sure that they are able to produce for you. You know, a lot of people will try and press you with the internet, and you know, I can get you here, there, and all this other stuff. But a true publicist will be able to get you into newspapers and get the word out there about you. Because publicity is black and white. Either you're in the publication or you're not. There's no middle point, you know what I'm saying? So they can say anything they want to and finagle and try and play the role of what they want to. But if they're not in a publication, or then if you're not reading about yourself, okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, this might be dumb, but
No other question.
let's say View is featured in Essence.
Mhm.
Does V get paid for that?
No.
Does V pay them for that?
It's
Nobody
already-
gets paid?
Marketing, you have publicity falls under the marketing umbrella.
Okay.
You know, so marketing is a front load. Anything that marketing does is always an expense.
So you pay, so if she were to be featured in Essence, she would.
It's earned. It goes back to earned media. Earned media means that's something that she earned. That's a badge of honor for her to be in Essence magazine. And by her being in Essence magazine means that their subscribers and people that look at Essence get to know her story. It increases her value in the marketplace.
So it's mutually beneficial.
Exactly. So it's mutually beneficial, and it's earned media because she'll get more benefit out of it than Essence. Yeah, another question?
Let me see if there's any on
Okay.
chat.
Oh yeah, so just for the slide, the role of a publicist to create positive media coverage so you, the client, can reach, impact, influence your target audience. So again, a middleman.
Oh, and I have one more question.
Sure.
So let's take Essence, for example. Do they have a specific, like a person with a specific title that you reach out to?
No.
No,
It's
you just have to make your
cold calls. And that's another thing too. A publicist, a good publicist has a Rolodex. You know what I'm saying? They have a Rolodex, and they have, and you're basically, what you're doing when you're hiring a publicist is you're hiring their influence. You're hiring their Rolodex. You're telling them that, you know, you want them to reach out to their sphere of influence to share your story with their sphere of influence.
All right. Second attempt. Joanne is in the Zoom. We'll be unmuting her. Yes. One moment, everyone.
Hello?
There she go.
Yes, Joanne, you're on.
Hey guys, Keith, I wanted to elaborate on Natasha's question a little bit about the type of campaign that we do. Natasha, for example, I just want to elaborate a little bit. We're currently doing the New Life, the Sweet Life series campaign, for example. So that's considered a campaign. So that campaign is really like what the media and basis and all the feedback that we are getting. There's a lot of background noise. For example, the Sweet Life series is pretty much highlighting the entrepreneurs, the beautypreneurs that are in the space. That's considered a campaign. So what is that campaign is saying, hey, these are 30 beauty entrepreneurs that's starting during the COVID. Here's their story. They're under 40, and then they're the new wave. So that kind of campaign highlighting them to video, creating content, picture, that's what the media is looking for. Instead of for the media going around and asking 30 or 40 different women about their story, so they they usually look for a platform like us, a new startup that have story, that have entrepreneur that haven't been highlighting before, and what is it that they have to tell, or what is it that they have to sell or promote. So that would be considered a campaign, the series that we are putting together. I just want to elaborate on that, Natasha. So all the press that we are doing right now is relating to and promoting that particular series, because that series is pretty much highlighting the new wave of beautypreneurs.
Yeah, and you're seeing that being done a lot now. One of the most successful examples of that is web series. Web series start out basically like that. Web series like, okay, the television networks aren't giving me any play. I can't pitch this, so I'm going to do it my own. So basically, it's a self-promotion way of getting the media's attention as far as what it is that you're doing. So with the web series, with the series that Joanne's talking about, is putting together content that speaks to the media, speaks to the public as far as what it is that we're doing here at New York Beauty Speaks, in hopes, but in order to capture the attention of the media and the press in general.
That's part of kind of like what you said with V, in terms of like her daughter. You were saying, see if we could get her school to, like her daughter's.
Yeah, that's part of PR, but it's more publicity. Publicity is more of us. You ever heard of publicity stunts? One of the oldest publicity stunts was in 1776 when the Boston Tea Party. That was a publicity stunt.
Okay.
That was something that someone did in order to get the attention of the media, the public in general. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about publicity, we talk about doing things in order to get the attention of the media. But it can be as elaborate or extravagant as the Boston Tea Party, but it can also be as simple as, be doing a PTA, giving cookies at the PTA with her vest on, announcing who she is for her daughter. That's a publicity stunt as well, So any more questions?
Most campaigns are publicity stunts. Most campaigns would be publicity stunts.
Not really. It depends on how.
It has a negative connotation.
It does, but when he broke down what a publicity stunt is, it sounds like almost everything that we're doing is to kind of get that attention, that media attention.
No, I think it's being redefined now, especially when you look at media and you look at content development. Again, media and content developments are interchangeable. But when you look at content development, everybody's doing content. I was watching some show and they were just kept talking about, and it was like in some small Western time. They were like a hotel or something like that. And the woman, as a side joke, kept on saying, "They do porn. Don't sit on the couch because at night they do porn." You know what I'm saying? Because of course, people in that particular industry are constantly developing content. You know what I'm saying? So it's being redefined. I think what we're doing with the beauty suites is we're helping the girls develop content. But at the same token, that same content can bring awareness to what it is, a bigger scale awareness to what it is that we're doing. So it's a media, it is kind of sort of, but it's basically a new way of promoting yourself. Me and Jensen was just talking about, girls getting content out of the thing, and you go around and you talk to people in general. It's like, my content, and they talk about their TikTok and all that other stuff, because that is the way the industry's going. That's what people are demanding, Yes.
I would like to note that campaigns can be smaller too.
Yeah.
So for example, one of the participants we have on Zoom right now is Carrie Ann.
Mhm.
Carrie Ann just brought into her suite a plant-based, natural, like muscle soother,
Mhm.
like if you're cramped up, kind of like cold and hot
Mhm.
type of ointment. Let's say Carrie Ann, she wanted to do a small like campaign with that.
Mhm.
For 2 months, she can either have, let's say, for example, alkaline vegans, they're very particular down to everything that they consume or eat.
Mhm.
Let's say lotions. That'll be the perfect person to advocate for this plant-based pain reliever.
Mhm.
How does it benefit the body? If you're this kind of person, if you work with your hands a lot, if you're a personal trainer, any things like that to show that it could be used for these kinds of people, and this is what my business have. So making a small campaign like that. And of course, her products will start selling, but it doesn't have to be such a long-term thing.
Yeah.
Instead of just a post or a few posts, it's a month worth of content around this new product.
Yeah. And that's where strategy comes in. It's like, okay, I want to promote this new plant-based muscle relaxer, for lack of better words, that to say, I'm a massage therapist and I know that it fits in with what my realm is, And sometimes companies are paid. You see it a lot. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have had companies come to you and ask you to use their products based on, and to see how they operate. And you just basically do a strategy behind it. For instance, if it's something that's yours, like this is something Carrie Ann created on her own. Genesis, this is something she created on her own?
No, she purchased it. I'm not sure if it's a sponsored line or anything like that.
Mhm.
No problem. No, yeah, she didn't create it. But nevertheless, Carrie Ann, a part of her brand is more natural, almost holistic in her practice and her brand. So by default, if we're looking at like from a bigger perspective, people who are into that more holistic, natural, organic, tend to be vegetarians.
So this is something, I'm sorry, because this is something that she purchased?
She's a distributor.
Okay, she's a distributor. Okay, great. Well, it's just like, for instance, one of his most successful campaign was the Subway campaign. Remember that campaign?
Which one?
With
The
guy that lost weight and he would walk everywhere. He was just a guy that would buy Subway and walk home. And he didn't say anything about, that's what he would do. He would go to Subway, he would walk from his house to Subway and walk home. And then over the time, he lost like 100 pounds or something like that. And Subway caught wind of it and, started putting him in commercials. The same thing happened with Carrie Ann. It's like, this is something that she's a distributor for, and she can utilize that as a strategy to bring awareness to who she is and become a promoter or a spokesperson for that particular brand.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
Sorry,
That's okay. You don't have to apologize.
How do you, in terms of like, let's say Carrie Ann, she does braids primarily, and she does, now she has.
Karen does massage.
No, I'm sorry, I was saying Karen, I'm so sorry.
Oh, Karen's right here.
Okay, so she's not a good example. Like, let's say there's people who have two very separate interests, like two things that have nothing to do with each other. How do you find like a commonality to blend it? Or do you recommend like if they really don't mesh, you just kind of keep them as two separate things?
But they have two business interests that they do?
Yeah, like let's say it was Karen that does hair, and now she has like a painless muscle relaxer situation. Do you think that someone who's in a situation like that, do you think they should blend these two things and find a way to find commonality, or do you think they should push them separately always?
I would say push them separately. Separately.
If it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, most people would. What is the woman's name? One of the Winans, I can't remember her name. She was married to the Winans' husband, Vicky Winans. for instance, Vicky Wine she's a singer, you know that, right? She sells albums and she has CDs. But when her mom got sick, she became a spokesperson for some type of vitamin or something like that to help, or a spokesperson to talk about aneurysms or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So when she would go out and sing, you know, she would push those two things simultaneously. You know, it didn't take away from who she was, but she still had she still had a platform for both of them, because she had a personal story with this one and she had a personal story with that one. For instance, Karen was the person that did the muscle relaxer because she found it soothing to her, but she also does braids. You know, she has a personal story with both, and she can utilize her personality to push it. You know, like for Vicky Winans, she was a singer. That platform was larger, but since she has such a larger platform, such a large platform, she was able to bring this other thing along for the ride, and she got paid for it. You know?
So you need a story that ties them both together.
Not really a story that ties them both together. You just need a platform one major platform in order to introduce to others. You know, V does two separate things. You know what I'm saying? But she can allow the success of one to ride on the other. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. We are multitasking anyway.
Do you mind making an announcement?
Okay, we'll be wrapping up soon.
Any other questions?
Oh, and I forgot, and I'm sorry, I forgot to repeat the questions for the audience.
No, that was good. They can hear.
Okay. So we'll be wrapping up soon. If you have any additional questions, please get them in. We're more happy to share them with you. Again, most of you guys know me or seen my face. I'm always around. Feel free to talk to me if you can. Genesis is send some information. If you want to have one-on-one consultations, I'm available, make myself available to you.
All right. Give me a second.
Okay. Tanya, thank you for all those questions every day.
No.
They kept me on my feet.
I had lunch.
Well, you can still ask them. I'm going to have to help answer. They keep me on my feet.
We're gonna do some reels after this, just like,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna do some reels
Oh,
after this.
okay.
Oh, yeah. All righty, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Stay posted for all members' office hours, that they're all now open to the public.
Hello?
Joanne?
Who? All right, have great days, everyone. Thank you.